leaders who have great influence, they came together, most of them from Tamil Nadu and some from overseas also, myself from Delhi, some BKs from Mount Abu, including Dadiji. So the first success of the dialogue was that so many people will come together to share on the subject their wisdom, that is future of power. And as the dialogue went along, three questions were discussed. Number one, what is power? Because power has many connotations. Then, where is power? And lastly, how to get power for oneself, that is empowerment. So everything went very nice, and it's the first attempt. So I only felt that the time was too short for everyone to express themselves and interact. I wish that it had gone on for another day. But it was a very, very stimulating and successful dialogue.
That people believe that to have power together with spirituality, they say it doesn't compute. It cannot go together. And so, we believe that what has happened now in the world with the global meltdown and financial trauma that has happened starting in the Western world, that there is a shift in this power that will come back to the East. And we believe that it will come back here, India. Now, because we believe that, we also believe that we can bring back to this country all the good things that were associated with power when it was here. That means the combination of power and values, power and spirituality. So that we have once again the power of love and not the love of power.
That India influenced the spiritual life of the whole of Asia, like spreading Buddhism as well as Hinduism to all these countries. And India did not conquer any country with the sword. India conquered hearts of people all over Asia with the spread of religion, philosophy, culture, arts, and so on. It changed in course of time. The second phase of power became a military power. From west we were invaded. The third phase of power became the East India Company, which started as a commercial power and became a temporal power. And therefore, we are still, in my opinion, living in that age where commercial power dominates the world. The temporal positions, the political situations, the kind of government may have changed, but the world is governed by commerce. Therefore, we are at a point where spiritual power has to be revived to come back in a manner that befits the world, and probably the time is ripe, as Swami Vivekananda said, that India will emerge again as the spiritual leader of the world, and in that position, it becomes a responsibility of every Indian. It becomes even more a responsibility of the temporal leaders of this country, whether they are politicians or businessmen or otherwise, to ensure that spiritual power is regained. Therefore, that power is the transformation of power, that is the future of power that we are all talking about. And I think it will, in the course of these 28 sessions that the Brahma Kumaris have so beautifully planned, it will emerge, the consensus will emerge of where we are going from here onwards.
The most unique aspect of this dialogue was that there was no concept paper to prepare the mind of the people who had come. They had come from diverse background, very competent, very experienced. Mr. Justice Mohan, when he said that he spent 21 years at the bar and 21 years at the bench, I was stunned that judge who was there for 21 years on the bench in the High Court and Supreme Court was present there, Mr. Nirmal, and you could see the kind of diverse kind of experiences that converge to confluence and express their opinion. It's a very unique model of, in fact, when I saw the names of the people who had been collected, that was the first inspiration for me to participate in the dialogue. See, power has different connotation, as Brijmohanji said. See, the world itself is realizing all the people involved in generating, handling, and distributing power. Today they realize that soft power is more important. Hard power is coercive. Soft power is persuasive. So we need to transform the character of the power from hard power to soft power.
Whenever Dadi travels in other countries, most of those citizens there say that because we have taken many past births in Bharat, even we are in a different body and different country, but actually we all are Bharatvasis. The centers got started in the Western world, and I'm based in New York, but Dadi Janki, it was actually the centers began in UK and Hong Kong. And when I was there in UK, we thought that Dadi Janki will be the right person, and she joined us, and since then she had been with us in the Western world, guiding us. Dadi says why we went there, because we knew that the power of love and power of truth will be most needed, and that's what we have to take, that the message of truth and love there. Yes, we can say that I am citizen of India, Bharatvasi, but then just to know that internally, truly, what it means to be Bharatvasi. No other country, they call that as motherland, but it's only when we Bharatvasi call our country. We always salute and we say mother country and salutation to mother. God awakened the mothers and said that you are the ones who have to carry this message. Because worldwide this kind of women in the leading roles had been a major issue. And the women also look for their equal rights, and they say that we should also be playing those roles. We don't want as Brahmakumaris or as women to have that leading role, but definitely we feel that we sisters collectively with brothers together want to bring that truth again.
I found their beautiful discipline, absolutely peaceful atmosphere, and will to do something. As Dadi Janki was saying, spiritualism was prevailing all over the place. I've only tried to bring you together here for some discussions on the subject. There have been good discussions. They want peace, peace of mind, peace in the world, peace in the country. They want people to be patriotic.